Welcome to another Demarcation Media discussion video. Today, I wanted to break down, kind of analyze all the aspects of the new multiplayer Mayhem fan vote set because it is now available on Mattel Creations as we speak. There is 12 days left to pre-order it. Yes, there is a limit, a time limit for this. There's a 2-week time limit, and as it's been out since Monday, days have gone off. So if you want this, pause the video, go into the description or check the pinned comment and get one for yourself. The price is $65, and we will talk about the price later. We'll talk about the limited ordering window later. What I wanted to do first is I want to just break down the content of the set. So I'm pretty happy with it. Just very first impressions, I'm pretty happy with it. The designs look pretty darn fantastic. I really love the way the new Warthog is. It's kind of a fusion of the Warthog Rally one and then the older like Bungie hogs. So that's a huge plus for me. The figures all look really great, but these are just renders, so I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Kevin did say that they were taking into account the risk of QC errors, and I'm just hoping that customer service will be able to help as well if there are problems. So we have the Estate Gold team, we have the Neon Superfly team. Estate Gold has the Gen XVI coating, and then the Hog has Neon Superfly. So Neon Superfly side of things is just entirely Neon Superfly. Then the other side is just gold and blue. We get a lot of weapons. We got 6 weapons per team, which is fantastic. All of them are printed. And we have extra helmets. The cat ears. Yay. Why? Mega. I hate it. I mean, my own deep-seated hatred of this helmet aside, I do kind of understand why Mega did it. Because people like it. I don't understand why, because it's like the most un-Halo thing ever. It's really huge Fortnite vibes for me, at least. I don't understand why they did that instead of upgrading the robotic arm. I think that would have been a much better use of the mold budget, but, a lot of people are happy about it, so okay. I personally hate it. Here we have a better shot of the Mongoose. It's literally the same Mongoose design, and I think that's fine. The suspension is great. The only thing that I don't love about this Mongoose design is the fact that the handles are just this bar, and you can see even in the render, the figure is having a hard time holding it straight on. So that is not great. We have a UNSC print here. That is a first. We have not gotten a printed part on a Mongoose yet, on this design of Mongoose. I'm hoping it'll be mirrored on the other side. I'm also hoping this gold will be like a drum lacquer gold. That'd be kind of cool. We also get to see up close the arm print for this. So the Estate Gold guys have the gold like hand plates and then gold and blue on the forearms. There's even little tiny gold prints in the shoulders, in the like indents. I'm hoping that's actually there because the Yoroi Spartan from Halo Heroes Series 17 showed tiny details like that, but it was lacking that detail in person. So hopefully we get that. And then we have lots of print on the legs, and then we get to see the new Stormfall helmet, which looks terrible. I mean, that's not Mega's fault. Mega actually looks like Mega did a fantastic job. It's just, it looks unfinished. It's literally Gungnir without the attachment. So that's a bummer. And for those of you who are wondering why didn't Coven get this helmet, Kevin said that they started designing the Coven figure back when they were still working with concept art, and the concept art showed her with the full Gungnir helmet. So yeah, that's why. But that's pretty neat. I don't love the helmet, but it's pretty neat. And then here is the Neon Superfly Hog. It looks like we've got some printing going on up here. It looks like a blue piece with maybe some black print. And we got some print over here on this white section, a little black line. The seats are actually printed with some pink like pads, which is cool. I was not expecting that. And then we have the UNSC print split over 2 different tiles, it looks like. So does that mean we could reverse it around and have it say Skoon? And then we have a UNSC logo, and it looks like it'd be pretty darn easy to swap out parts with, say, a Razorback or a Warthog Rally and turn this into like an Oni Hog. We get a better look at that squared off plate for the gun. That is not a new piece. I thought it was a new piece, but apparently it was used in an old Halo 4 Hog, and Mega just hadn't really used it since. So I'm happy to see it return. We get a closer up look of one of the new chests. We'll talk about that in a second. And we also get a very nice look at one of the Neon Superfly ARs, looking pretty fantastic. Again, I just hope that this print looks as sharp in person. Here is the Estate Gold team. Look at that. They are rocking a spanker, all painted up in silver and gold. That looks pretty cool. Like, that's nice. It's nice to get printed spankers. We don't often get printed spankers, so that's pretty neat. Then the dude on this side has a sidekick. I almost said Magnum, but no, it's a sidekick. It's the new sidekick mold in gold, so that's pretty cool. And then we get to see the Cinder Shot and Heat Wave. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Heat Wave is the one the Mark 7 is holding, and then the Cinder Shot is the one that the Stormfall is holding. Is that correct? Hopefully that's correct. I always get those mixed up. I always just want to call them all a Cinder Shot. But no, we've got those. They have some lighter gray print. The molds look pretty fantastic. We have two handholds for this one, the Cinder Shot, and then the Heat Wave looks pretty fantastic as well. The Mark 7, oh, so good. Again, if the print is this good, which, you know, Mega's done some figures kind of this detailed. Some that come to mind are like the Halo Heroes Spartan Scout and the Halo Heroes Flaming Noob, as well as the HCS Pepsi Man Mark 7. And the Mark 7 is probably the closest to the level of print that we see on these guys. And he was all right. His face was sometimes, like the white on his face was sometimes a little bit misprinted, but it wasn't too bad. So hopefully we'll get to see that. I'm going to have to do another Mark 7 comparison soon because we're getting more and more Mark 7s. And then behind him is the Trailblazer, looking nice. And then Stormfall, and then Firefall. Firefall looks so nice. Oh, that is so... Yes, I love that. Looks like Mega absolutely nailed it. And in this color scheme, it looks pretty nice. The one thing I was a little disappointed about, well, first of all, I want to point out, there's a cat ears helmet looking blah. There's also blueprint missing from the knee, and we can see the same thing up here. The Trailblazer is missing the blueprint on the knee, whereas this guy doesn't, or he is got the print. He's not missing it. So hopefully this is just a render error and they don't actually leave out the print. We got the Terminator leg for the Robo like prosthetic, and then we have the same Terminator arm, which they gave us the cat ears before a new arm. That is a bummer. But the chest plates we have represented here. The new one, which I think might be a female, Multiversal Productions pointed out to me that this one looks like it's going to be a female, both Trailblazers on both teams. That, let me see, I need to look at it. It is, I have it written down, it is the TAC/M2 497 pouches attachment for the Mark 7 chest plate. That's pretty fantastic. I'm looking forward to that actually a lot. And it might be our very first female Mark 7 chest plate mold, which is a bit odd, which means we'll have the back plate. We'll just need a normal front plate for the female Spartans. But that's a cool piece for sure. Step in the right direction as well for getting more female armor pieces. And then the Mark 7 just has the normal Mark 7 chest plate, which looks fantastic as usual. And then the Stormfall has the HINF UAM 557 jack plate, which is not a new piece. Well, it's a semi-new piece. It came out with the stone green armor coating and the orange Spartan from Decisive Engagement and Bizarre Battlegrounds introduced it. And it's a really nice piece. I'm happy to see it getting printed here. And then the Firefall. I don't know why Mega chose to do both of the fall helmets here, because it's pain to get it straight. But the Firefall, which is the ODST based one, has the AAP DAKH Ordnance Pack, which is that front, which has been around for almost as long as the Infinite line has. Came out on the very first Trailblazer, I think, so it's not new, but it's a nice piece. That's very cool, all looking very nice. And then, I don't know, I think the Neon Superfly team might be my favorite, even though Estate Gold looks fantastic. I didn't vote for Estate Gold, I want to make that clear. I voted for the Gundam coating, which I was really hoping to see, but that didn't win, and I am pretty happy with Estate Gold because it looks pretty nice. But these guys look great. You can see the Trailblazer. You can see a little bit more how the new chest plate, the tack pouches, looks like it's a female torso. Lots of little print, little tiny pink bits. Down here on the leg, there's pink with little tiny bits of blue in it. I'm really hoping those all show up properly because it would be a huge bummer if they didn't. And then we have the AR. This guy has the prosthetic arm and leg. There's the cat ears again. Lots of really nice print. Stormfall looking ugly as usual. And then the Firefall looks so nice. We don't often get black Spartans. We don't often get light blue tealish Spartans, and we don't often get pink. So having a mix of all of it is fantastic. Then here we just get a bit of a side-by-side. Cat ears looking gross. I don't know. Weirdly, the more I'm looking at it, the more Stormfall is kind of growing on me a little bit. It gives me like Hero Factory vibes for some reason. But yeah, pretty fantastic. I am thrilled that we got both of the new Forerunner weapons. That is super cool. Such a great move by Mega. I love that they did that. I voted for the more square one, the Heat Wave, I think that is. But I'm happy to see both. So that is kind of a little breakdown for you. I'm pretty hyped for this. So let's talk about the price. Let's talk about the release window. There is a 2-week time limit to pre-order it. And I understand a lot of people are frustrated about that because, you know, not everybody has $65 to drop on a Mega set, you know, in that time window. So that is a bit of a pain. I don't really see a way that Mega could have gotten around that because this is going to be they're going to make as many as are ordered. So they need people to buy it and they need people to pay for it right away. Essentially, this is a fan-funded set. This is basically crowd-funded. They crowd-funded the ideas and now we're paying for the set to be produced. If they had touted it that way, it would have been less painful for some people, I think. But they chose not to do that. But that's essentially what we're doing. We are crowdfunding this set. So the 2-week time period makes sense because the sooner they get the pre-orders in, the sooner they can start production. They will be shipped April of next year. I don't know if that's a set date. Like, that should be the longest time. I know Simon over on the domain said he thinks they'll ship sooner. I don't want to keep my hopes up that it will ship sooner, but there's a chance. But I'm just assuming April of next year. And as long as they get it, like they take their time and get this right, I'm okay with that taking so long. The $65 price tag, I really think is fair because we're getting a lot here. We're getting 12 printed weapons. We are getting 8 Halo Heroes figures, basically. I mean, if you think about that, that's $5 a figure. So that's $40 right there. And then you have all of the prints for the new Warthog, well, it's not really a ton of prints for the Mongoose. The Mongoose is the least involved thing here. And all of the new molds. I think that this is a pretty fair price. I don't see how they could lower the price and get their money, get all their costs covered, essentially. So I don't really see much point in complaining about the price. It's pretty good for what we get. Now, there have been a lot of people complaining about the, like, shipping costs and all that. Some guy in Texas had his shipping be like a ridiculous amount. It was like $90. That, if you have that high of shipping and you're in the US, call them. They're pretty good about responding if you call their customer service number and talk to them about that. That is definitely a mistake. But within places like the UK or anywhere in the EU, it's going to be fairly expensive. And I know the Canadian price is fairly expensive too. Shipping prices in the EU particularly, there are these weird landed shipping costs now that are ridiculous. So I don't know if Mega has to deal with that. I'm assuming they do, which might account for how expensive it is. I don't really see a way around that for them either. Like, they're doing their best to get this out to the entire world, and there's so much that goes into that, so many weird fees for different countries and all that, so much change between currencies. So I don't know. I'll admit, there's definitely going to be some situations where it's not ideal. You're probably going to have to pay more than this set is worth, but it's better if you have the money to order it now, pay a little bit more than maybe you'd like, and actually be able to be guaranteed to get this, as opposed to waiting and then never getting it, because this is going to shoot up in price. And I hate encouraging people to invest. I never recommend that, because I think that takes all the joy out of being like a collector and enjoying these things. But I'm saying that to say that if you choose to wait till later, you might not be able to get it for more than like 200, because this is a very limited run set, and a lot of this stuff probably will never show up again. Obviously the new molds will, but in these colors, probably not. So that kind of sums up my breakdown of this. I think the only other thing that I wanted to say is that there was a sniper rifle put in, and I'll pop up what Kevin said on the screen, but essentially they cut the sniper rifle because they didn't want one team to have too many power weapons, but they also wanted to stay true to the coding, so they put thought into that. And if a weapon did not appear in the right coding in game, they weren't going to put it in. So Estate Gold could have gotten the sniper, but then they would have had 2 power weapons, and Neon Superfly would not, and there's no Neon Superfly sniper or rocket launcher based on what they said. So that's that. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Mattel Creations has it right now. This is a great step towards making things, more readily available, less scalper, easy to get. That's not proper English, but you guys know what I mean. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. My only complaint really is that all of these figures use Mark 7 shoulders. I was like, oh, maybe there will be new shoulders, but I realized they all have Mark 7 shoulders, which makes sense because they're on a Mark 7 core, and Stormfall and Firefall don't have their own shoulders, but that's a little boring. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with the visor choice, even though, they all have the same visor color. It makes sense. I would like to see maybe one team have one color, one team have the other color, but it's all good, I think. I like the contrast on the different colors. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have a hard time waiting to get this in hand. So in the meantime, we can discuss it, and I will see you guys next time.